Hello, my name is Peter, and today I thought I'd do a video on how I'm going to attempt to overwinter some of my citrus trees and a few other subtropical plants. So as you can see, I built this portable greenhouse. I think I built it a couple of weeks ago now. I've only got a few plants in it so far, but I plan to bring in some of the citrus plants in here to try and keep them protected over the winter. Now this is quite a small little greenhouse. I think it's about 145 centimetres by 142 centimetres. I'll put the conversion on the screen later. But yeah, it's relatively small space, so I don't know if I'm actually going to be able to fit all of them in. But the reason I've put it here, it's at the bottom of my garden, so it's kind of on a south east facing part of my garden, so it does get quite a bit of sun in the morning, but in the afternoon it doesn't get too much at this time of year. In summer it does get a lot more, but the main reason I put it here is because I've got the wall and the fence on both sides here to hopefully protect it a bit from the wind. I also have some tent pegs which I could also try and peg it down to try and hold it in a bit better. But I'll just go inside and show you what it's like inside. So yeah, as you can see inside, you can walk inside here. It's tall enough to stand up in the middle, but it's a few shelves on either side, same on the other side as well. So I'm thinking I'll put some smaller potted plants on the shelves here, just to keep them protected from the rain and the frost a little bit. I'm not sure how much protection this greenhouse will give the plants, but I do have a couple of thermometers in here which I've been monitoring the temperatures over the last couple of days. As you can see on this one here, it's about 16.6 Celsius. The lowest was 9.8 Celsius, and obviously the highest was 30.2 Celsius. Now the highest temperature could have been skewed a little bit as the sun was probably shining on it at the time, but the low temperature is definitely a little bit higher than what it was outside. It was maybe 1 or 2 degrees cooler than that on one night, so it did maintain a slightly warmer temperature in here. And same on this other one here. You can see that one's got a higher temperature currently. That's probably because this side of the greenhouse was in the sun more recently, and the rock it's on is probably radiating some heat as well. So yeah, that's the other thing I've done in here. I've put a few rocks in to try and hold the frame down a little bit. I was hoping that will help to anchor it, protect it from blowing over in the wind. I already have a couple of small citrus in here. This one is a lemon, not sure what variety, it wasn't labelled. And then here I have a calamondin and a key lime, which I've already moved in because they were on the side of the garden that doesn't get much sun at this time of year, so I decided to put them in here. And also it was starting to get quite cool as well. I've noticed this has started pushing out a little bit of growth since I put it in here, the calamondin, so I think it is doing a bit better now that it's been moved into here. I also moved one of my figs in here. This is the Ronde Bordeaux, the one that I've been trying to get this fig to develop on for a while now. I think July, I think I first noticed it. I moved it in here because the mini greenhouse it was in blew over the other day, and yeah, it made a mess all over the place, and so I decided just to put it in here until I fix that up. In fact, I might actually leave it in here depending on how much space there is. I also moved this banana in here. This is a Grand Nain banana. It was outside before, but wasn't doing too well because it was getting a bit too cold for it. But since I put it in here, it has started to push out a new leaf. But this will need to be brought in quite soon. In fact, I'll probably bring it in the next day or two. I have noticed there's some flies that are probably coming out of the pots. They weren't here the other day, so there's probably some fungus gnats or something. Which, yeah, it doesn't tend to be a problem outdoors, but inside a little greenhouse like this, or indoors in the house, can become a bit of a problem. So I'm going to have to look at how to deal with that. So yeah, as you can see, it's not a very large space. I'm not sure how many citrus plants I'm going to be able to fit in here. Can't remember exactly how many I've got now. I think I've got about 11 or 12 larger ones, so I'll probably struggle to fit them all in here. But yeah, I'll start moving them in because we are expecting some quite cold temperatures in the next week or so at night. The forecast is showing even a temperature down to perhaps about 3 degrees one night later in the week. I'm going to bring them in here to get them used to the greenhouse conditions. And these are just a few cuttings that I did. Well, there's 3 goji berry cuttings here. These were in that mini greenhouse that I had before, which I moved into here because when it fell over, all the pots fell out and all the soil and everything, so I had to repot them up and just brought them into here. And this is a brown turkey fig. It was a root sucker from my brown turkey fig plant that I removed a couple of months ago, and yeah, I think it's started to root. But I know it has rooted because I did see the roots on it. But yeah, I'm just going to keep it protected, I think, from the too much cold since it's so small. So I'll start moving a few citrus into here now, some of the larger ones, and try and figure out the best configuration to keep them protected. Okay, so I've now got all the outdoor citrus inside here, all the large ones and even some other smaller ones I already had. I might have to move some of these around a little bit just to try and optimize the space as much as I can. So yeah, as you can see, I've now got 10 of these larger citrus in here, the yuzu as well, and then obviously the other citrus that I had in before. I'll probably just move some of these around a bit so I can get in a little bit more, because I've only got a little bit of free space at the front. See if I can move them so I can get a little bit further in. I don't want this yuzu to be right here, but don't have time at the minute to shuffle them around too much. Also, I can't really get to these citrus down here, so I'll probably move them onto the top shelves. But yeah, for now I'll leave them like this. I may move this banana plant off the top. For now I'll just leave it here, but I'll probably bring this inside in the next day or two. Yeah, because it's not going to like the temperatures we're going to get. It should stay a little bit warmer in here. Oh, that's the other thing actually, I can't really reach the thermometers at the moment as well, so I'll probably have to move them as well. But yeah, for now this will do for just quickly getting them inside. So I also forgot my lane late, the one that's been recovering. I just brought that in as well. Definitely going to have to shuffle these around. Definitely not in a good configuration at the minute. I want to try and maximise the space and allow me to get to as many as possible so I can keep an eye on them over winter. But yeah, that should be good enough for now. And yeah, hopefully this will keep them protected enough for the winter. Thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell so you'll be notified when I release a new video. I'll see you in the next one.